February. Well, today it snowed for the first time this winter, and school was canceled. We were supposed to have a test in pre-algebra, and I've kind of slacked off ever since I became safety patrol, so I was psyched. I called Raleigh and told him to come over. Me and him have been talking about building the world's biggest snowman for the past couple of years now. And when I say the world's biggest snowman, I'm not kidding. Our goal was to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. But every time we've gotten serious about going for the record, all the snow has melted, and we've missed our window of opportunity. So this year, I wanted to get it started right away. When Raleigh came over, we started rolling the first snowball to make its base. I figured the base was going to have to be at least 8 feet tall on its own if we wanted to have a shot at breaking the record. But the snowball got real heavy. And then we had to take a bunch of breaks in between the rolls so we could catch our breaths. Giant grunt wheeze. Oh, during one of our breaks, Mom came outside to go to the grocery store, but our snowball was blocking her car in. So we got a little free labor out of her. After our break, grunt wheeze. After our break, Raleigh pushed the snowball until we couldn't push it any farther. But we looked behind us, we saw the mess we had made. The snowball had gotten so heavy that it tore up all of Dad's sod. Dad just laid down this fall. I was hoping it would snow a few more inches and cover all of our tracks, but just like that, it stopped snowing. Our plan to build the world's biggest snowman was starting to fall apart, so we came up with a better idea for our snowball. Every time it snows, the kid from Worley Street use our hill for sledding, even though this isn't their neighborhood. So tomorrow morning, when the Worley Street kids came marching up our hill, me and Rowley are going to teach these guys a lesson. Thursday, I woke up in the morning and the snow was already starting to melt. So I told Rowley to hurry up and get down to my house. While I was waiting for Rowley to show up, I watched Manny trying to build a snowman out of a piddly little crumbs of snow that were left over from our snowball. It was actually kind of pathetic. I really couldn't help doing what I did next. Unfortunately for me, right at that moment, Dad was in front of the window. Punt. Yeah! Dad was already mad at me for tearing up the sod, so I knew I was in for it. I heard the garage door open. I saw Dad coming outside. He marched right out carrying the snow shovel and thought he was going to have us make a run for it. But then Dad headed for my snowball, not me. In less than a minute, he had reduced our hard working to nothing. Raleigh came by a few minutes later. I thought he might actually get a kick out of what happened. But I guess he had his heart set on rolling that snowball down the hill. And he was really mad. But get this, Raleigh was mad at me for what Dad did. I told Raleigh he was being a big baby, and we got in a shoving match right then. When I looked at like we were going to get in another all-out fight, we got ambushed from the street. It was the hit and run by the Worley Street kids. And if Mrs. Levine, my English teacher, was there, I'm sure she would have said the whole situation was ironic. Wednesday, today at school, they announced there's going to be an opening for the cartoonist job at the school paper. There's only one comic slot, and up until now, this kid named Brian Little had been hogging all to himself. Brian had this little comic called Wacky Dog, and when it started off, it was actually pretty funny. But lately, Brian's been using his strip to handle his personal business. I guess that's why they gave him the axe. Wacky Dog. Hey, Wacky Dog, something funny? I actually have something serious in mind today. Susan Lim, if you're reading this, Brian is very sorry he kissed your best friend, Rachel, behind the lockers. He hopes you can find it in your heart to forgive him. P.S. Barry Palmer, you still owe Brian $5. Bye, you bum. As soon as I heard the news, I knew I had to try out for Wacky Dog. Made Brian Little a celebrity at our school, and I wanted to get in on some kind of fame. I had a taste of what it's like to be famous at my school. I won the honorable mention in this anti-smoking contest they had. All I did was trace a picture of one of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, but luckily no one ever found out. Don't smoke or you look like me. The kid who won first place, named Chris Carney, was the kind that ticks me off, and that Chris smokes at least a pack of cigarettes a day. Don't smoke, it's a joke. Thursday, me and Raleigh decided to team up and do a cartoon together. So after school, he came over to my house and we got to work. We banged out a bunch of characters real quick, and that turned out to be easy. The easy part. Then we tried to think up some jokes. What kind of hit the wall? I finally came up with a good solution. I made up a cartoon where the punchline of every strip was "Zoo-wee, mama." That way, we wouldn't get booed with down or bogged down without writing actual jokes. We could just concentrate on the pictures. For the first couple of strips, I did the writing and the first characters, and Raleigh drew the boxes around the pictures. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Yeah, right. Hey, Timmy, your mom slipped in a banana peel, and P.S. She's dead. Zoo-wee, mama. Raleigh started complaining he didn't have enough to do, so I let him write a few of the strips. But to be honest with you, they were pretty obvious, dropped in quality once. Raleigh started doing the writing. I have been waiting 3 hours to get a hamburger. Finally, one hamburger, please. I'm sorry, sir, we're all sold out. Faint. Zoo-wee, mama. Eventually, I got kind of sick of Zoo-wee, mama, and I tried pretty much to let Raleigh take over the whole operation. And believe it or not, Raleigh's drawing skills are worse than his writing skills. Oops, I stepped in a puddle. At least it's not an acid puddle. Ah! It is pure acid puddle. Zoo-wee, mama. I told Raleigh maybe we should come up with a new idea, but he wanted to keep Zoo-wee, mama. Then he packed up his comics and went home, which was fine by me. I don't really want to be partnered up with a kid who doesn't draw noses anyways. Friday, after Riley left school, I really got to work on some comics. I came up with some characters called Creighton and Cretin, and I got on a roll. Creighton and Cretin by Greg Heffley. Hi, my name is Creighton. No, it isn't. Your name is Stuart, Pid. Oops, I'm Stuart Pid. Har, har, har. I must have banged out 20 strips, and I didn't even break a sweat. I wonder what this is, this cute little box. That's not a box. It's a brick, you dumb moron. Oops. I've been trying all day to open it. Doctor, can I have a new butt? My old one has a crack in it. Creighton, I told you a million times everyone's butt has a crack in it. Oh yeah, I forgot. The great thing about these Cretan comics is that with all the idiots running around the school, I will never run out of new material. When I got to school today, I took my comics to Mr. Ira's office. He's the teacher who runs the school newspaper. But when I got to my turn to turn my strips in, I saw there was a pile of comics of other kids who were trying to get the job. Most of them were pretty bad, so I wasn't too worried about the competition. Girls Rule by Tabitha Cutter and Lisa Russell. Don't walk near our lunch table, Tyler Green. Yeah, you're not even cute. Ha 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 ha. Girls Rule. Extreme Skaters. I'm gonna do this red jump. Whatever. Yo, dude. Watch out for that telephone wire. Here I go. Dirk. Darn. Slice. Ouch. Bonk. Oh, sure glad I wore my helmet. One of the comics was called Dumb Teachers and was written by this kid named Bill Tritt. Bill was always in detention, so I guess he had a bone to pick with just about every teacher in the school, including Mr. Ira. So I'm not too worried about the chances of Bill's comic getting in either. Hey, Mr. Ira, you pooped your pants again? Nuh-uh. Uh-huh. Stink line from the poop. There are actually one or two decent comics in the bin, but I slipped them under the pile of my paperwork on Mr. Ira's desk. Hopefully the ones won't turn up until I'm in high school. Thursday. Today is morning announcements. I got the news I was hoping for. And the new cartoonist for the school newspaper is Greg Heffley. Paper came out today at lunchtime, and everyone was reading it. I really wanted to pick up a copy to see my name in print, but I decided to just play it cool and wait for a while instead. I sat at the end of the lunch table so there would be plenty of room for me to start signing autographs for the new fans, but nobody was coming over to tell me how great my comic was. Then I started to feel really something was wrong. I grabbed the paper and went to the bathroom to check it out. When I saw my comic, I practically had a heart attack. Mr. Ira told me he had made some minor edits to the comic. I thought he just meant fix my spelling and stuff like that, but he totally butchered it. Comic ruined one of my favorite ones, too. It was original Creighton and Critten. He's taking a math text and he accidentally eats it, and then the teacher yells at him for being such a moron. By the time Mr. Ira was done with it, you practically couldn't recognize it as a comic strip. Teach Creighton and Critten's Curious Student by Greg Hefferly. Teacher, if x plus 43 is 89, then what would x be? Creighton, x should be 46. Thanks, kids. If you want to learn more about math, be sure to visit Mr. Humphrey during his office hours, or visit the library and check out the newly explained math science section. I'm pretty sure I won't be signing any autographs anytime soon. Teacher's pet, shove.